Lena and Elijah. It's Aunt Elisa. I am going to be seeing you in less than 1 week from today, and I am so excited. But I'm also excited because I'm getting ready to read to you the very last installment of Make Room for Elisa. But don't worry, because there are other books in this series that I already purchased because I couldn't stand the thought of not having another book to read to you guys. So I thought this might be a good week to read you the last installment, and then I'll get to see you in person next weekend, and then we'll start a brand new book after that. And maybe when you're here, I'll let you pick which is the next book I'm going to read to you. So if you remember where we left off last time, Elisa was so excited because her new baby brother Marshall and her mommy were getting ready to come home from the hospital, and she and her brother had made a big welcome home mommy sign and hung it in the lobby of their apartment building. On Sunday morning, Elisa woke in her new bedroom extra early. She was very excited that her mother was coming home today. She was also excited that her baby brother would be coming home too. Elisa got out of bed and put on her furry bedroom slippers. She wanted to peek in Marshall's room and imagine what it would look like when he was in it. When Marshall grew up, he would think they had always lived in apartment 4H. He wouldn't know what it was like to have lived in their smaller apartment on the second floor, she thought. He would see her wearing her glasses, and he would think that Elisa had always worn glasses. Maybe when he got older, he would need to wear glasses too. She wondered how long it would be before she could play real games with him, the way she played with Russell. She would teach him all the ABCs, just the way Russell had taught them to her. As soon as he had eaten breakfast, Mr. Michaels, Elisa's dad, left for the hospital. Before long, he would be back with Mrs. Michaels and Marshall in a taxi. Elisa could hardly wait. Suddenly, she was struck by a terrible thought. "Grandma," she said, "all our signs say welcome home, Mommy. None of them say Marshall." "It doesn't matter," said Russell. "Marshall can't read. He won't know what the signs say." "I don't care," said Elisa. "We should have a sign to welcome him home, too." "There isn't much time," said their grandmother. "You used up all the paper in the house yesterday, and I don't have another bed sheet to spare either." "I know what!" shouted Elisa. "I don't need paper or a sheet." She ran to her room and got her box of pastel colors. She hadn't really used them since the day her mother had scolded her for drawing on the wall in their old apartment. "Mommy only lets me draw with these in the park, because she said it looks messy in front of the house. But this is special. Can't I make a sign right now on the sidewalk outside? Just this once?" "You'd better check with Henry or Mr. Harvey first," suggested her grandmother. "Sure," said Henry, when Elisa asked him. "I know Mr. Harvey won't mind this one time. We can't have people writing on the sidewalk with chalk every day, but this is a special big day." Elisa got down on her hands and knees in front of their apartment building and got to work. "You'd better hurry," said Russell. "Let me help you." He spelled out the name of their new brother for Elisa. Then he made big block letters, the way he had done on the banner. Elisa worked hard coloring them in with her red and yellow and green pieces of chalk. She was just finishing her task when the taxi pulled up in front of the house. Elisa stood up and wiped her hands on her jeans. She looked at the taxi and saw her mother and father sitting close together in the back seat. But where was Marshall? For a moment, Elisa felt worried. Could her parents have forgotten him at the hospital? Then the taxi door opened and she saw that her mother was holding a bundle of blankets. She could see Marshall's little cap. Elisa looked down at her message on the sidewalk. It was big and clear. It didn't really matter that the new baby couldn't read. She wanted everyone in the whole building and everyone on their whole street to be able to see what she had written. Welcome home, Marshall. She stood proudly watching as her father got out first and began helping her mother out of the taxi. Suddenly, just as her mother was about to emerge from the car, an exciting thought occurred to Elisa. "Grandma," she called with delight, "guess what? Even though I'm always going to be Russell's little sister, now I'm a big sister too. I'm Marshall's big sister." Elisa's grandmother smiled at her and nodded. "Absolutely, positively," she said. And that's the end of the book. And here is the message that Elisa wrote on the sidewalk outside their apartment building. "Welcome home, Marshall." And I can definitely relate to Elisa wanting the whole neighborhood to know about her new baby brother. Because when your mom was born, Uncle Joe and I and Aunt Angela ran all throughout the neighborhood and knocked on everybody's doors because we were so excited to let them know that we had a new baby sister. Well, that is the conclusion of the book Make Room for Elisa. I've enjoyed reading it to you guys over the past year. Do you believe it took us a whole year to read one doggone book? I better speed it up next time. Maybe I'll be a speed reader. I'll read really fast. Would you like that? If I read really fast, we can get through more books like that? If I read really... So tell me if you want me to speed read. Tell me if it's this, or this. I love you guys. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you in 6 short days.